I'm really not sure what started this whole thing where like the Canadian government just wants to murder everyone. Like I don't. Hmm. Disabled Canadian Army veteran Paralympian blasts government for offering to euthanise her when she complained about how long it was taking to install a stair lift at her home. I mean, now, okay, we can all agree that anyone that's ever worked in customer service, especially telephone customer service, that's the dream. That's the dream. Why is this taking so long? Why are you so terrible? I'm sorry, madam. Have you considered killing yourself? That's look. Anyone you've thought about it. You've thought about it. You've weighed up the pros and cons. Do I really need to pay my bills this month? You've weighed it up. I know you have. We all have. I mean, everyone does that on their last day though, where they tell a customer to go fuck themselves. I mean, I have. I've done it a few times. I've worked in I've worked in far too many call centres. A disabled veteran in Canada has slammed her government for offering to euthanise her when she grew frustrated at delays in having a wheelchair lift installed in her home. Retired Army Corporal Christine Gauthier, a former Paralympian, testified in Parliament on Thursday that a Veterans Affairs Canada caseworker made the assisted suicide offer. After years of frustrating delays in getting the home lift, Gauthier says the caseworker told her, Madam, if you are really so desperate, we can give you medical assistance in dying now. God damn. The worker who made the offer hasn't been named, but they are feared to have offered three other veterans who contacted VAC with problems the same solution, a final solution, if you will. The scandal emerged a week after Canada's Veterans Affairs Minister confirmed that at least four other veterans were similarly offered access to Canada's medical assistance in dying, made law in response to their troubles, a situation Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called absolutely unacceptable. We'll get into. Wait for the end. We'll wait for the end before I go on my wee ramble. Gauthier says that she has been seeking VAC assistance in getting a chairlift for her home since 2017. It has isolated me greatly because I have to crawl down my butt with the wheelchair in front of me to be able to access my house, she told Global News. She said she was shocked by the offer of suicide from the caseworker, which came in a conversation in 2019. I was like, I can't believe that you will give me an injection to help me die, but you will not give me the tools I need to help me live, she said. It was really shocking to hear that kind of comment. Well, socialised healthcare, it's a lot cheaper if you're dead. like, you know, I mean, we could, invest like shit times of money and staff and everything into, solving your mental problems, or we could just kill you. Saves us a lot of money, saves a lot of the taxpayer money. That way, the government gets to keep more of it. And other than one of the, see, fucking socialised healthcare. Oh, sweet Jesus, it's fucking terrible. Oh fuck! Hopefully I'll remember to tell you a story at the end of this as well, just of how fucking bad everyone's like. See how everyone dunks on Americans? At least we have free healthcare. Yeah, it's fucking terrible. It's so bad. It is atrocious. But we'll do that at the end. Gauthier was injured in an army training accident in 1989, suffering permanent damage to her knees and spine. She competed in the 2016 Paralympic Games and Prince Harry's 2016 Invictus Games as a canoeist, powerlifter, and indoor rower. Gauthier's testimony and reports of other similar cases have drawn public outcry, and Trudeau vowed to make changes. I have said repeatedly that this is absolutely unacceptable, and as soon as we heard about this, we took action, Trudeau said in Vancouver on Friday. We are following up with investigations and we are changing protocols to ensure what should seem obvious to all of us, that it is not the place of Veterans Affairs Canada, who are there to support those people who stepped up to serve their country, to offer them medical assistance in dying, he said. Medically assisted suicide was first legalised in Canada for terminally ill patients in 2016, but last year the law expanded to offer euthanasia to patients whose natural death is not believed to be imminent. Now, people with long-term disabilities can also receive medical assistance in dying. Last year, more than 10,000 people in Canada died. I didn't know that. Oh my. Jesus. 10,000 people in Canada died by euthanasia. Fucking hell. Starting next year, a new law will allow people suffering from mental illness, which had not previously be a qualifying condition, to receive medically assisted suicide. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. Oh well. The expansion of Canada's euthanasia laws, already among the most permissive on the planet, has raised concerns from some quarters. One doctor told DailyMail.com that he is worried about the expansion as it will turn suicide into a standard treatment for mental health conditions with little oversight or guidelines. Now, the problem is if someone is mentally ill, there are certain mental illnesses, where, I mean, the ones where the person's not really aware of who they are, where they are, and then, like, can they consent to such a things? I mean, the whole point of consent is being of sound mind and body. I don't think someone of sound mind could consent to something like that. They're going to start rolling it out to people with depression, which, I mean, Jesus Christ, fucking everybody has. Fucking go down to the doctors and say, I'm feeling a bit shit, and they'll be like, yeah, here you go, here's some things that will kill your fucking sex drive and make you feel worse over a long period of time. Never been on antidepressants, just want to say that. Just in case any three-letter agencies get any ideas. I've never ever had thoughts of suicide. Dr. Trudeau Lemons, University of Toronto professor of health, law and policy, told DailyMail.com that the system might create an obligation to introduce suicide as part of mental health treatment. I mean, I wouldn't really call it treatment. Kind of, if a horse breaks its leg and I take it out into the field and blow its brains out with a shotgun, I'm not a veterinarian. Right, that's not, I wouldn't call that treatment. The coming back, sprayed in horse brains, going like that to the farmer. The operation was a success. Like, fuck me. Imagine that being applied in the context of mental health. You have a person suffering severe depression, seeks help from a therapist, and is offered the solution of dying, he continued. He feels that vulnerable patients who aren't in the right state of mind could be convinced suicide is a reasonable option. Dr. Lemons called the entire system a perverted concept of autonomy. There are already signs the system is failing some Canadians, with reports of people receiving approval for assisted suicides for diabetes and homelessness. Good God damn. Last month, a Canadian man facing eviction made international headlines when he applied to be legally euthanized and die rather than face homelessness. Amir Farsood, 54, applied for the drastic measure after the rooming house where he lives was put on the market. His debilitating, untreatable back pain made him eligible for medically assisted suicide under Canadian law. Farsood had received one of the 2 doctor signatures required to be accepted by the government euthanasia programme, but a GoFundMe page set up in his name by a stranger wound up raising him over $60,000, enough to get him new housing and to change his mind about ending his life. I mean, Jesus, thank God. Last week, a Canadian fashion giant was accused of glorifying suicide after launching a media campaign that appeared to promote euthanasia. The All Is Beauty video ad, launched by La Maison Simon, French Hon Hon Baguette, fucking hate the French, centres around terminally ill woman Jennifer, 37, who ended her life with medication intervention in October. The 3-minute video shows Jennifer and loved ones waving bubble wands next to the ocean, having picnics in the forest with friends, and watching a puppet show. In an audio overlay recorded weeks before her death, she says, "I spent my life filling my heart with beauty, with nature, with connection. I choose to fill my final moments with the same. Last breaths are sacred. When I imagine my final days, I see music, I see the ocean, I see cheesecake." Yanzi Zhu, a policy expert for the University of Oxford, told DailyMail.com by presenting a woman's decision to commit suicide as an upscale lifestyle choice, Simons is glorifying suicide and telling vulnerable Canadians that they would be better off dead than alive. The video has also drawn criticism from social media users who slammed it as ghoulish and likened it to sci-fi dystopia. Yeah, definitely. Since it was uploaded about a month ago, the video has garnered more than 1.1 million views on YouTube. A 30-second snippet of the video posted to Twitter has about 1.6 million views. Now, few things. Now, see, when it comes to if you want to take your own life, do I believe you have the right to do it? Yes, I believe you have the right to do it. I mean, your life, you can kill yourself if you want. But do not do that. Do not even think of doing anything like that, because like I've said in the past, we've all been through hard times. I've been through some really, really fucking rough times. I've been through some dark places. And one thing that got me through it is things won't stay bad forever, and they don't. You can go through bad breakups, you can go through a death in the family and stuff like that, and eventually you do get better. It doesn't seem like it at the time, where you're sitting there and you're miserable and you think, oh, this is me forever. It's not. There were times, quite a few times, where I felt like that. And things got better. And look at my life now. I've got a wife, I've got 2 children, well, one child and another on the way, and I'm stuck as giant penis on Twitter. Maybe suicide's preferred. Joking. Right, now, in the cases now, in cases of euthanasia, it's an awful, like suicide, I don't care what way you dress it up, it's a fucking awful, terrible thing. But then you get cases of people who have absolutely debilitating illnesses, where they're in constant pain, or they can't move, or they're paralysed, and their quality of life because of these illnesses are just absolutely shot to shit. I mean, a person who can only communicate by like blinking and like a cursor has to spell out what they want to say and everything like that, or even someone who's like paralysed and blind as well and stuff like that. It's just, I'm not gonna sit there and to that person and go, things will get better. Like I'll be like, okay, you get dealt an absolutely shit hand, but you want to end things on your own terms. You didn't get to decide your life, but you want to decide your death. All right, I respect that. I don't like it. I feel dirty saying that, but I get it. I get it in those cases. For depression, no. Like, no. Things do get better. They do. Trust me. They get better. Might take a while. Might take a year or two. Maybe 2 weeks. But trust me, they get better. Lift weights. But in the case of, oh, you're homeless? Oh, you don't have a lift in your house? Have you considered fucking dying? Like, no. See, just offering it out willy-nilly to all these random stupid fucking reasons. No, go and fuck yourself. Right, and see if it's for other illnesses that you are able to fucking treat, you know, being socialised healthcare. These people paid their fucking taxes, right? They paid their money. You owe them that service. In fact, to deny them that service that they've already paid for against their will is theft, in my eyes, to deny people such healthcare that they have already fucking paid for, right? But that's the problem with socialised healthcare. It's much easier to just say, we could spend about like 200 grand trying to make this patient better, or we could spend like 50 quid on a little injection, make them have a nice little sleep, and then they're not our problem anymore. Thanks for all the taxes you paid us, though, over your entire life. Right, no, fuck off. Absolutely fuck off. That, you can blow it right out your arse. Socialised healthcare. I mean, like, people go, yeah, over here in Britain, we have the free healthcare. Get it up, you Americans. Yeah, you'll have free healthcare in 9 months once your name comes up in the waiting list. Right, another thing as well is we've got friends who they believe that their toddler is autistic, so they wanted to put them into the autistic speech program because autistic children develop speech and stuff like that later. But if you get in early during these key stages, you can actually bring their speech in earlier. So it's very important to get in there in time to have them develop their speech. The waiting list is 2 years, which I don't understand how that can be, because then you've missed the window. You've missed the window. I'm starting to think that service doesn't actually exist, because by the time the 2 years is up, the kids probably started talking a lot later than they should have, but they've already started talking. So I'm thinking, so that means they're off the list because the kid's talking now, but I'm like, who's on the list then? Because nobody's getting into it. So who's on the list? Another one. Sue, my wife, unfortunately, she is a hobbit-sized woman giving birth to a regular human-sized baby. So she's got terrible back pain, terrible, round ligament pain and stuff like that. So we went to the doctor. Another funny thing about the doctor as well is if you want an appointment, like back in my day, you just phoned the doctor. You got an appointment. That was it. Now, to get an appointment with the doctor, you can't phone them. Can't phone them at all now. You need to go to a website and book your appointment. Now, that sounds normal. That sounds fine. However, the website is only open, yes, right, it's a website with opening times from 8 in the morning until 9:30 at night, where you go in and you say your symptoms and you don't get an appointment. You don't get to book an appointment. You state your case as to why you should get an appointment. The doctors and nurses then review what you typed and decide whether or not it's important enough for you to get an appointment. Hey, thanks for all the taxes. Thanks for all the money. But another one as well. So we ended up having to go through all that fucking bullshit so that Sue would be able to get an appointment with physiotherapy. So we're like, oh, excellent, physiotherapy appointment, that's no problem. Oh, you'll get your appointment in the post. So that's fine. We got our letter in because we knew it was going to be a little bit of a wait. Fortunately, it was only a couple of weeks. And instead of please come to this location at this time where you will see a physiotherapist, we got a link to a fucking Zoom call where it was Sue and like about 16 or 18 other mothers-to-be with two nurses on the call with an exercise ball showing you exercises that you could do at home. The exact same video is on their website showing the exact same exercises. So a video that was already... Basically, I paid... I'm not gonna say how much, but I paid the high end of five figures in taxis last year for my wife to have a YouTube video like reenacted by a couple of nurses. Me and Sue and 18 other mothers who were all in pain, all in a lot of fucking pain. And they basically says, do these exercises at home. Stay away. I don't think hospitals and doctors are real anymore. I think that's what happened during COVID when all the shit got locked down. They actually all just vanished and they're not a thing anymore, but we still have to pay our taxes towards it. Oh, another thing that happened as well is I witnessed this with my own fucking eyes. Me and Sue had to go to the emergency room for something. It was a little bit of a scare. Turns out everything was fine. And sitting across the room from us, now we ended up waiting about 9 hours in accident and emergency. Which, by the way, over here in Britain, standard, waiting about 8-9 hours in accident and emergency. This was on a Monday as well. Usually it's worse at the weekend. But while we were waiting, a mother came in, frantic. She had a young boy, he looked about like 5 or 6, whose face had been mauled by a dog. He came in and everyone in the waiting room was just like, holy fucking shit. It was bad. It was really fucking bad. That boy sat there crying in his mother's arms for 6 hours before they saw him. And then everyone's going to sit there and go, yeah, I get free healthcare. Do you have any idea how many fucking payouts, how many tens of millions of payouts that the NHS has to fucking give out every fucking year to families that died from their fuck-ups? Because I swear to God, see if you want to get an appointment in about 2 months and get told it's probably nothing, just for 8 months in the future for you to get told, oh shit, by the way, turns out it was cancer. It's terminal now. If only we acted sooner. Anyway, you've got 2 weeks. Bye-bye. Thanks for the taxis. Right, it's a fucking diabolical, absolutely atrocious shit system. Right, it's crap. Like, basically what I do now is, for me, I go private. I'm sorry. I'd see that whole, get up at fucking early in the morning and you've only got this little window and then a doctor decides whether or not you get your fucking thing. Like, nah, I phoned up private, went and got my appointment that day, had my prescription in my hand like fucking half an hour later. And that was me, done. Wasn't even double figures it cost. No, it wasn't even triple figures it cost. Just... like, it's a diabolical fucking shit system. And Canada's starting to realise, oh, holy shit, our diabolical and shit socialised healthcare system isn't working, and it would maybe just be easier if we just started fucking killing people. That's what this looks like to me. I mean, if you can go to the doctor and you cannot even get fucking treatment, but they'll fucking kill you at the drop of a fucking hat so that you're not an issue anymore. Oh no, anyway, like I've said a few times before, thanks for all the taxis.